All right, today, Vill Storiez, we got a legendary duo. Two of Winston's finest.
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? A father and son duo. They've been putting it down for a minute. We're going to get into an interview today and talk to them about how they started and where they started from. FAMU.
Appreciate that. For sure.
What's up?
All right, so first of all, I guess I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, most people do.
You know what I'm saying?
Rim Steel. Born and raised in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, by way of, it's called Rolling Hills now, but I grew up in New Bethel. Then we moved to Salem Gardens. So pretty much did all my growing up around that time, you know, here in Winston and whatnot.
Okay. That was in your school years?
Yeah, Boston, yeah, high school. And then
what elementary school did you go to?
Sedge Garden. Then we moved, ended up going to Hardwood down the street, yeah.
Okay. What middle school?
That's weird, because they changed things. I started out at Philo and ended up at Atkins. And then from there I went to Glenn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to Glenn all 4 years?
Yes.
What kind of student was you? Don't lie to me because your son right here now.
Oh man, I don't know. That's a good question because I really don't know. I mean, I think I could have been better than I was. I didn't know. School was just school to me. It wasn't really like a serious thing to me until my senior year. It really wasn't really that serious about, I mean, if I made a good grade, I made a good grade. I knew the work. I just didn't care enough about it. I didn't want to drop out. I just didn't care about the work. But I knew, you know, I felt like I was smart enough to do what I wanted to do.
So you made decent grades?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay. You had no problems with anybody at school?
Plenty of problems. Plenty of problems.
What kind of problems you was having?
Well, for one, I was the big kid with the glasses and whatnot. And then growing up in the hood, you bound to have to go through the dozens, and you definitely got to go through trying to take up for yourself or whatnot. And then I had a few things going on at the crib that was always problematic for me. So I'm dealing with the best or worst, or the best and worst of both worlds with high school and home and the neighborhood, whatnot. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So I could say, man, I had my fair share of problems with a few bullies, stuff that I had to deal with, whatnot. I tried to escape my all that through sports and music. So
you was doing music while you was in school?
So I used to write and draw. That was my thing. In school, I was an artist. I tried everything, graffiti. I was an artist at Glenn. And it started out like when the breakdance era came. Hip hop always been there. So my thing was, all my friends was good at breakdancing and potluck, and we used to go up the Parkview Shopping Center.
Who's some of the people you was with?
Oh man, I remember my boy Granson Morgan and Kenny Corbin, guys like that, Monte Sutherland, Delano Barnes, people like that, man. That I used to know this kid by the name of Storm. He was older than us, but that was my biggest hip hop influence at the time, Storm, and my first DJ. And he's the original Jazzy Jeff Wilson. And yeah, I know, right? But he was dope, man, on the tables, man. Storm actually brought that hip hop thing down to Winston, if you ask me. The look, the dress. He had one of those big long boxes when they came out, the sheepskin. He bought fat laces, and he just set me down and taught me all of that stuff. And so
he was from Winston?
He's actually from New York, but he grew up here in Winston.
Right.
Yeah. So that's Storm Jeter. That's my man. And so all of them knew how to break. And I wasn't good at it, man, And so I said, well, dog, if they gonna be dancing, I'm gonna be rapping. They gonna have to dance to my stuff. So that's what it was. Yeah. So I didn't really take it serious till me and my cousin went to what we call the back to school jams, man, and they had Africa Bambaataa and Soul, I hope I get it right, Soul Sonic Force. I might have said it wrong, y'all forgive me for that. But they had, it was downtown beneath the M's and all of that. So we used to do that every year, they used to do that every year, and so we happened to go there and everything, and they played Planet Rock. So I know the next day, my cousin like, yo, we gotta get to the record bar and get that single, you know, because everything then was about the 45s, wasn't about no tape. Then we was still playing records,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So, and so with that, I said, man, I want to learn how to rap, man. I want to learn how to do like Curtis Blow and all of them, man. So that's one of my many hip hop stories. I want to be like that.
And what was your first verse? What did you write? You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I tell you what, I can't tell you the first thing I wrote, but I could tell you when I was in school, I wrote this joint, and it was a parody to Slick Rick joint, you know, the show, not the show, but Lottie Dottie. So I had this joint called Fried Chicken. I know y'all finna laugh, but I had a joint, and I wrote this whole rhyme about fried chicken. Now, funny thing is, I'm in class at home writing this rhyme. Brian Fagans is in there. Brian Fagans, shout out to my boy Brian Fagans, man. Yeah. And Wild Beecher Crawford, she was there, and she was a rapper too. So that I don't know what they did. I'm writing rhymes, you know, I'm writing. And she go jump up talking about, Miss So-and-so, Chris over here making a recipe for fried chicken. So I'm mad on everybody chicken. Yeah.
You went to Glen?
I went to Glen.
But you stayed on the hills.
Yeah, well, I actually stayed in New Bethel, but we moved to Salem Gardens. And so at the time, we went to Philo, and then they changed the line, and Shalimar and on up went to Atkins. So after Atkins, they turned Glen into a 4-year high school and Parkland to a 4-year high school. And they made Hill a middle school because we all wanted to go to Hill. We wanted to go to Hill and then Parkland, but they changed the line. So
what's the first time you said, oh shit, I can rap? Like you rap somewhere in front of people?
This.
Well, now the funny thing about that was I used to look up the guys like my man Lil Richard and a cat named D. Moyer and David Mills and people like that. And then so what people don't understand, the real ciphers to me started in the high school and lunchtime. We would all meet by the steps. So my man John Gore would do the beatbox. And then I used to have to go against, rap with this girl by the name of Shocky Shay. Okay. So yeah, so then, that's Shocky Shay. And I had a girl that lived in Salem Gardens.
Another trick for legend?
Yeah. So I had another girl in Salem Gardens named Sonia Young. We used to call her Chill MC. So me and her was like partners and whatnot. And so we started rapping in the hallways of Glen. And my man, so we all four just started getting together, man, and said, we're gonna do a group. Next thing you know, with the infamous Carver Talent Show. I don't wanna talk about what happened at that Carver Talent Show, because I promised somebody I know personally that I'll never speak up on it again. But it's some stuff that happened down there, and it's funny to this day, but it happened. All I can say, man, shout out to Tommy G and my man, Eagle Man there, FOG. And whatnot. That's all I want to say. I ain't going. People know what happened, but in spite of what happened, man, to me, I call them the forefathers of Winston-Salem hip hop and North Carolina hip hop because, to my knowledge, they were the first ones that had a joint on the radio.
Who was that?
FOG. They had, yeah.
Who was that? I mean, who was that?
Well, there was a guy named Shannon. There was a guy named Tommy G, Eagle Man. And I know the fourth member is gonna hit me hard. Somebody gonna be mad. Smokey, that was his name. And man, they was dope, man. They had the two best DJs, rappers they were way before their time, man. And
You got busy at the talent show.
yeah, absolutely. But what I loved about them though, they had this joint that was playing on the radio with the My Three Sons in the background, and it was like the first time, I know it was a sample, but that was the first time that in this area that I could say somebody did something, and I totally remember that joint being played on the radio.
Wow.
Yeah, that's ill that the radio played it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially back then.
Right, and there wasn't no 1 or 2 jams now. It was something that I think that was AAA, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word. So now you officially, that was your senior year?
That was all through my high school years when that happened, man. So I ended up going 2 years. I waited around, worked a little bit, then I decided to go to school. And during school, I decided to go to St. Augustine, Raleigh. So I started meeting a lot of people, influential people, and this is during the golden era of hip hop around the 90s, that 90 years, you know, whatnot. So everybody was heavy influence. So during that time, I met my homeboys. I met Deveron. I feel like Deveron is probably one of the best producers I ever met in my life. And they were different. They was from New York, whatnot. He was from New Rochelle. And I know we used to sit in this room and he would play music that he did with the Brand Nubians. He had it on videotape. Because I figured he had it videotape because people wouldn't believe him. You know how people are. But yes, he was one of their producers early on, and the music was there. And I think going to school was a good thing because there was nothing in St. Aug. You might be walking across campus and walk right past DJ Red Alert on any given day. You might, you know, I've seen before they was actually stars, what's your boys, them, DOS Effects. I've stood right next to it, and we used to call it the mall. It's a little spot in St. Aug. Everybody might have some jams, might have outside whatnot. And I'm sitting right next to J. Rue the Damager, just like it was nothing. And I'm like, that's J. Rue. You know what I'm saying?
What school now?
This is St. Aug. This is St. Augustine's University.
In Raleigh?
In Raleigh. So during that time, you had a lot of groups, man, and right across the way in Shaw, they had Lords in the Underground, and we had Yad Food Front. So it's kind of weird. Yad Food Front got a little deal, whatnot, and they was tight. And I didn't know at the time, but in Winston, they had a little group called the Fourth Dimension. When that was my man Equinox and Flower Child, which is now he'll change the name over the years, whatnot, which eventually turned into the Nobodies. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of history, and I can't speak on it all.
Who do Nobodies consist of?
That's my man. At the time, he was Apocalypse the Mind Builder. Now he's Seven the Panther. And I guess Knox always been Equinox to me, so that's always been the same. And then you had Eagle Man was the DJ. Babyhead was the producer. Okay. It was a couple people involved. My man Fat Boy, he was the manager. And they was doing their thing before I know they toured with KRS-One, and they had the #1 single in Canada for over 6 weeks. So they was doing their thing.
I remember they did that video downtown.
Right.
That went down.
That was the crazy thing, because I ain't know nothing about them. And one day, I'm looking at BET, and I said, who these dudes? Yo, they from Winston. And I said, that look like.
They was up top?
Yeah, and I was like, yo, man, that's dope.
Word up. That shit was motivational. Like,
yeah.
So your son still wasn't born yet?
He wasn't born yet. And so the weirdest thing about my whole story is, in between all this nobody period, there's always been this one guy in Winston-Salem, and somehow our paths always kind of go flowing into each other in and out. And then people would compare us in some reason, but he always sort of been in my life and I didn't know it. Now, it was funny, he stayed on the side of town, went to the same elementary school. He went to Follow, I went to Follow. But at the time, we didn't really, know each other. And this is a man by the name of Bobby Shields, who ended up at Parkland, I'm at Glenn. Bobby Shields beatboxing, Parkland and rap. I mean, Glenn beatboxing and rapping. So the craziest thing is, I graduated from St. Aug. My daughter was born. He was already came in the world. And someone, I said, man, I didn't want to give up a Bobby Shields, so I'm gonna try to catch on. And my man Will Pringle gave me his number. So I called Bobby and I said, yo, it was funny, man, because his wife had just went in to have her son, and I just came out the hospital having my wife having a daughter at the time. And so he had a boy, and I had a girl. They about 3 days apart. So we ended up hanging out and talking and whatnot. And then he said, well, you know, man, I'm making beats now, and I'm still rapping. So he writing, and over the years we got together and we did that. And then moving along, started doing shows, whatnot. I started putting together my own shows because that was the hard part. And me and Seven started getting together because C7 and Bob used to be a group too. And
I don't mean to cut you off.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But what made you start doing your own shows?
Because I felt like wasn't nobody else doing it and nobody knew me, so I wanted to kind of do my own thing to get people, let people know who I was and whatnot, what I was trying to do. I was trying to also build up Winston-Salem, and still doing that as we speak. But
and while we on this point right now, a quick intermission. Tell them about what you got going on right now.
So right now we're doing a benefit show for St. Augustine's College. As you know,
That's right.
over the years, St. Aug went through a lot of financial problems. They had a lot of things going on. I could speak on how things wasn't taken care of, things wasn't done. And that's part of most people HBCU experience in a lot of colleges is always having some type of financial problems or difficulties with the higher ups and whatnot. And so we just really, to make a long story short, we got the college back. We trying to get it on point because it was looking bad, and it was got to the point that seemingly the college shut down. But it was going through accreditation thing, and the campus wasn't being taken care of properly. People weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing with the funds. And it ain't nothing that I'm just making up. I'm speaking on facts. And so a few group of people who really care about the campus were outspoken, fought, said some things, did some things, took it upon themselves to go on the campus and do their best independently to take care of the campus, and it was shunned upon. So again, to do my part is to show the campus that I really care. And now that we back, we need to fix a few things and get the campus back looking like it did when I started there, and much better. So to do my part, I'm not saying that I'm gonna raise millions of dollars to rectify the overall problem, but I want to be a part of the solution, and every little thing counts. So we having a benefit show down at Toasted, March 21st. My man B High sitting behind the camera right now gonna be there rocking. We got some great artists on there. We got a young lady by the name Addison Marie gonna be in there. The legendary Seven the Panther. My man AP, of course, fam, you gonna be doing their thing.
Of course.
I got a young bull that's gonna be coming up, man. I'm really excited about this young man. And he's from Kinston. His name is Too Dope Ty, and I really wanted him bad to do a show with us. Jamal Mathers, one of the dopest MCs that's coming up, that's blowing up in North Carolina, man. And then we having some beat sets that's gonna be there, some of the dopest producers this way. And majority of our stuff is gonna be from Winston, but it's for St. Aug. All proceeds right now going to the university, St. Augustine's University. Right now it's $15 in advance, $20 at the door. If you want a ticket right now, you can hit me up. You can send the money to Dollar Fam Universal, or I will put you on the ticket list. Just write ticket on there. If you just want to do a donation, write donation. We'll accept $1 to $1 million. Whatever you want to give us, we're going to accept anything right away, and all proceeds are going to the college. And also, let me make note of this too, which is most important. We're definitely going to be honoring one of the few guys I met in 91. I talked about him earlier, but his name is Deveron Benjamin, because he's been so active before all of this. From 91 up to then, he's been a very integral part of people being aware of who they are, standing up for what's right, being in there for community. And when we was in school, we started a group called FEC, Stand for Every Change, because at the time, we couldn't get in fraternity. So we would go out in the community and get canned goods and food for the homeless. And we would volunteer, wanting to do, helping little kids and whatnot with their homework. Anything that we can do, we wanted to do it for the community. So he's always been active in the community, and he's been very proactive for St. All. And we want to honor him at the show for his leadership. So that's basically what it is. And it's in Winston-Salem, Toasted. Yeah, we was doing shows down at the warehouse, and at the time it was called the warehouse one time, and they changed it to the PES 211, something like that. As I remember now, it's Cranky's Coffee Shop. Yeah, we used to do shows down there, man, and I've met a lot of great
What was your boy name, man? The little short dude. The short white dude who got caught up for Afghanistan and all that.
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know.
I think it was Frankie. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we was doing shows down there, man, and I came across a lot of great MCs. There was a group out of Charlotte called Figure 4. Also, we didn't get to have him there, but I was trying to get Paulie Snubnose there, and I don't know if they went through, but I know Superstition has been there with us. That's another great North Carolina MC. We had this guy on there, I think he was real dope, this kid named Brother Reed. And that brother had a following. He brought about 300 people there, man. And it was so dope to have him there, man.
I just remember the white boys saying the cranium crackers.
I do remember the cranium crackers, man. I met the cranium crackers
that name crazy.
through my homeboy Payday, DJ Payday, man. That was my boy.
Payday,
that was my dude, man. He was like an uncle to him.
R.I.P. Uncle Payday.
Yeah. And I met them. And that, matter of fact, meeting them and meeting Payday is how I met Johannes.
Okay.
So, and Johannes was different because Johannes was the only dude I probably ever met in person. And he probably don't even know the story. And I met, I was scared of Johannes, man. He was just that dope. He's still dope, but he was so dope. And he knew what he was doing, what he wanted on the track. He came in, and I thought Payday knew what he was doing, but Joanne was like taking over. This is what I want here. And then he was doing this thing, and I was like, yo, man, you from New York or something, man? He's like, nah, I'm from here.
Regards.
Huh? I was like, well, nah, man, you can't be from here.
Man, I'm telling you, people used to always be like, damn, man, you write fast, boy. That's the only person I ever know that write faster than me. I'm talking about this dude write songs like 5 minutes, the song done.
But that's what I was telling him back in the day, man. It wasn't like what people do today. We would get together, and it'd be nothing when us said, look, y'all want to put something together? And somebody go over the corner, start writing. That was it. That's how we did. And to me, that's training.
Right.
So yeah, but that was funny, man, because I'll never forget meeting him, and he put this joint together, and he had his cousin or somebody with him named Dirt Nap. And that was my history of meeting him. Like I said.
At Payday Spot?
Yeah. So I came across a lot of MCs. That's when also I think he came to the show, and we had a group there called Band of the Ham, which has a brother in there named Sinister. And I forgot the young man, he died when he was younger. And we was all recording our stuff down in Dock. Downtown.
Oh, Doc?
Yeah. So shout out to Doc, man.
Light skin dude.
Yeah, shout out to Doc.
Doc was the truth, man.
Yeah. And so then I met a young brother by the name of Asiatic. And I thought Asiatic was one of the smoothest, coolest down south brother. I'm telling you, man. And he couldn't hear it now. And I always tell him, man, you still got it, bro. I still. So now this is my history with SneekyVill. So me going to St. All, y'all had a young lady in y'all group that sung. You remember her?
Cool.
Yeah. So Quilla Reed went to St. All, and I had did a joint with her.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quilla went to St. All for about like a semester or so, man, and she came home. I didn't know she sung, and she said, "Yeah, I remember you, and I sing." We got together, and we did this joint, but I never recorded it. You remember Quilla? You remember the song with the Gladys Knight sample? Yeah. Anyway, you was young when that's you was young.
He was growing up.
I ain't singing the song on camera, so. And she said, "Yeah, I'm with this group, and we call SneekyVill and blah blah. And this group tried to pop off on us and this and that, but we was ready." I was like, "Where did she get some hip hop?"
We was doing some things, man.
It's a lot of great groups came out of Winston, man. Cookout Gang and CK. Code Red. I love everybody, man, at the time. So
we're gonna keep Floking it.
Floking it was dope. So it's a lot of groups, man. But my own.
Whoop my ass up. I gotta remember the name of punch shit, man.
You the undercover, and then you got what's your boy? Psycho Ward. I like the Psycho Ward. I thought Psycho Ward was dope, man.
Yeah.
And Mr. Rick, then that's dope, man. I know I've been talking on this interview forever, man.
Nah, we finna get to it, because you was growing up in this the whole time.
Right. I'm over here watching all this unfold, not even knowing what's going on for real.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you was as young, when you start rapping? How old was you when you started rapping?
When I started rapping, I say about 10, 11. But really taking it seriously, like first time I ever recorded was like 14, 15.
10, 11, you put a song together though. I mean, you wrote something.
I wrote something, yeah. I was writing, that's what it was. That was the writing phase.
Did your pops know?
Yeah, I think he knew, like, it was a lot of times where I would like try to come to him and he'd be like, "Nah, man, go back. Or go back to the drawing board." You know? It's like it'd be times I'd be like, "Man, I know this the one right here, this the one right here."
Yeah.
And I'd go to him and be like, "Yeah, you know what? Just I'm gonna give you a song to listen to. You come back to me when you heard this song," and it'd be like a song from the 90s, something like that, you know, like a classic hip hop song, and that's how I started getting into that type of thing. You know,
where was you raised at?
Here, Winston-Salem.
Like
Born and raised.
Where?
On the west side.
West side.
So,
What school did you go to?
from the beginning, like elementary all the way. So elementary, went to Bolton, and then South Fort when we moved to the west side. And then from there, it was Jefferson, Middle, and high school Reynolds.
So you consider yourself a good student?
I was okay.
What'd you say, Pop?
He was good, man. I think we was both similar in that. I think it is just. I feel how he's looking at it. Like if I look at it now, I know I could have done better. I just didn't care about it. It wasn't like nobody set out to fail. It's just that didn't care about it as much as I did college.
Right.
You know, I guess the difference is in college you're paying for it.
Right.
You know, so you gotta take it serious.
So what are some of the what was some of your biggest things that you remember from school?
Man, from school, shoot, man. I'm gonna be honest, it was a lot of people that was already rapping or was trying to rap, you know?
Right.
Like, that's one thing I did remember. Matter of fact, we did have one guy that came from Reynolds that did Like
So the people at the
that
school,
went big. Yeah,
they knew you could rap?
yeah.
So people like, they want to hear you rap?
Like it was funny. It was like it was a couple times like I actually did battles there. Like at the school, like it'd be like outside where the quiet area was, or it was one in the cafeteria. It was with this dude named Rakeed Wise. I don't know if y'all know who that is.
Somebody knows.
Somebody know who that is. It was a
yeah.
long time ago. This was wild, man. Shout out to him because he's still doing his thing with music. Like he's been with Ninth Wonder and everything.
Okay.
Like from the beginning, but like he does his own thing, you know.
Word.
But yeah, I remember that, man. That was some of the big moments.
What was your first time recording?
It had to be about. I know it was on a posse cut that.
Oh, it was John Black. Shout out to John Black. Yeah,
John
we
Black,
did his joint. And
I forget what that song called though. But
I do too, but we did a joint at John Black House, and then the beat came from this guy from Germany named Devil Lion.
Yep.
And he hit me up one day on SoundCloud and showed me, I like your stuff. And, you know, do you want to do something together? And I shot him a verse from one of his tracks. He came back and sent me something, and then because John Black said, man, we got people from overseas with us. Next thing you know, he rapping in German.
Yep.
So now,
Okay.
so he was on that track.
You what you did, a verse?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I actually went first on that.
You was 10?
No.
It wasn't 10.
About 15. 15.
15.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
15.
All right. Where y'all recorded that at?
John Black's.
Yeah, John Black. Yeah.
Word. All right, so tell me, when and how did you, when you did that, did you think that one day you were gonna be in a group with your dad?
Nah, not at the time. I
So
didn't
how
have
did it
foresight
progress to
for
the point
that.
that y'all?
Well,
Yeah.
before I get, I tell one of the stories. One of the things that I learned over the years, there used to be a time when we go to the studio and people don't realize why I take things so serious, because you had to pay. You was paying $35 an hour. You were on the clock. So I remember my first studio experience at this place called Turtle Tapes. It was on the south side. And this guy, he milked us for almost $200. And we only did one song, and it wasn't really half a song. And that was my first experience. So my thing was, when he was doing this thing, I always treated him like, look, time is money. You're in the studio, everything is money, everything is time. Take it serious. You ain't got time to keep going back because you wasting somebody's money and you wasting somebody's time. And so I think that helped groom him. So I actually was trying to help my nephew, Kenny. And for one reason, Kenny, you know, he wanted to do some other things and on his own. And so that was cool. So I heard him rap and I got with him and we started doing that. So as I was doing these shows, I just felt like I needed something to make my shows better. So I said, you know, it'd be dope and him learn better if he get on stage with me.
I kind of became like the hype man type,
right.
You know?
So he knew all my stuff already, so it was easier. And then me and Seven said one day, I said, man, you know what, man, I ain't never really liked being no solo artist. I mean, I've done it and it's cool, but I always like to piggyback off somebody else and whatnot. And I said, man, you got countless people you working with. He said, you know what though? I'm gonna do something with my son. I don't think nobody's ever really did a group and all this with my son, with their child or whatever. And I said, I think it'd be good and positive and whatever. So that's where it started from there. So, you know, and we started doing shows together to rapping together.
Where did you, was y'all called FAMU?
Yes, we always call FAMU.
Yeah, it was actually FAMU from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Where you get that from? What gave you the spark?
Well, for one, the original FAMU is a black school. And I was thinking about there's an NWA, there's all different types of groups with acronyms. I said, dog, and we fam, and if I took and make that acronym FAMU, family always make it united. So that's where that came from. So when people look at the actual logo, I know they don't see an eye, but that represents the eye being silent when we put the dash there. And the gorilla skull is a symbol of protection and family, because we deemed that the gorilla is the most family-oriented animal on earth. It will protect his family by all means. We talking about an animal with 100% melanin in the skin, pure muscle and fiber, and is a vegetarian. You know.
That's great. Okay.
So people always want to know what FAMU really is about. You know what I'm saying? I think we like to bring energy. We like to bring fun. And there's times that we want to bring awareness, conscious, love. We feel like in hip hop, I think people don't understand the whole dynamic that it's not a one-trick pony where we just get on in, and a lot of people take it there and want to ride it out forever. And then you wonder why 5, 10 years from now, nobody even hardly remember you, or they don't know what y'all. So because you didn't bring nothing to the table that make them remember you. So we treat it like the best gumbo that you ever had. You can distinct all flavors in one, and you might hear some reggae, you might hear some rock. You know, we gonna bring it every time. Just energy, love, fun, family. We might talk about some crazy stuff, but it's gonna be dope.
So what is your artist name?
96 Gems.
And what does that mean to you?
For me, well, I was born in 96, and honestly, I feel like I be dropping gems, you feel me? Like it wasn't even that deep, but you know what I'm saying?
I got you, man.
You know.
What's your artist name?
Rim Still.
What that mean?
Yeah, I had to shorten it because it was called Remington Steele. I'm gonna do something today I never thought I would do, and it's a very known fact. Okay, so I was thinking about the 80s in sitcom Remington Steele would be a dope name. Come to find out years ago, Remington Steele was actually the woman in the on the show. I said, oh, dog. I said, you know, if somebody really do their homework, they can find out. I said, I didn't want that. Yeah. So I shortened my name to Rim Steele, and Rim actually means ripping every mic. You know, and then when we think about the microphone, you hold a piece of steel. Right.
Have y'all ever had a disagreement as far as the kind of music that y'all want to make?
You know, the crazy thing is, though, people think that I run the show, or I'm just because I'm the dad.
It's been a few times where I heard the beats and I was like, nah, we need to do something different. We need to do something different than that. Like, let's take this song, let's take the song that you wrote and put this on a different instrumental, because this one ain't it. Type shit, you know? Right. That's what it be.
That's good, though.
You know?
It's culture right there.
But and there's other times where he'd be like, nah, man, just trust me, and it'll work out. So it's kind of like a bag of forth.
If you really standing on it, then you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of we wanted to just get away the myth that, because he dad, he run the show and he tell him what to do and he got to do. It ain't like that. We treat this like partnership. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's a democracy, not a dictatorship. Right. You know. Yeah.
So how long have y'all been doing it?
Well, it counts as FAMU 10 years. 10. 4 albums strong. Is it 4 or 5?
Probably 5.
Yeah, 5.
No, matter of fact, I think it is 5.
It's 5.
It's 5. It's 5.
How has your music evolved since y'all started?
A lot.
It's
a lot. You want to take this or you want me to take it?
I say like the first project was like us like just finding our sound. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a hip hop foundation, like but as far as like fine tuning like everything we wanted to talk about, like that first album it's a little bit rough around the edges, but it's like you can hear the development from there, like from now on to the next one.
Right now y'all forming the scene like flawless, you know what I'm saying?
I just know when we first started, like I said, like he said, we didn't know where we wanted to go. We just want to see, and the production and the mixing. I guess at the time, it wasn't on my radar like it should be. And by the time we got to finish, we went through some things with this person, but we ain't gonna discuss that. But they, you learn, you grow, you.
Damn.
You know, don't do it. But sometimes I think God would trip you and make you fall so you know how to get back up and stand like a man. And the thing about me that, well, I'm a teacher by trade. So I teach young folk that it ain't about vengeance. Vengeance is showing that you can stand up and be resilient even when people try to knock you down. If you don't run and kill somebody or hurt somebody, they'll never see your growth and you will never grow. In both ways, they'll never see you grow. You're gonna be locked up, they're gonna be dead. But if you let them people see you that you bounce back up and do greater things, they can only do nothing but show you respect and think, oh, I can't believe I let that slip through my fingers.
Yes.
You know.
What kind of goals y'all got as a group that you would share?
Definitely, man, we want to be better than each show or each thing. We want to just keep growing and being better. Like I said, we want to show what we got across the world and not just locally or regionally. We would like to be, be able to share what we got everywhere and let people see where we came from and where we at now.
Where you see FAMU at?
Man.
If y'all pushing everything go as you wanted to go.
Man, I like to see it become like a just a real recognized brand, like almost like the Wu-Tang thing. Like it's one thing about it, you know that logo anywhere in the world. So who knows, man? Who knows where we can take this is like just a brand,
I think the biggest thing that we looking for, a lot of people chase money, we chasing respect. A lot of people want to chase money. Money comes and go. You 5 years you might be a millionaire, and then 5 years later you might be a bum. But respect will stay with you for the rest until you deem yourself not respectful. I want respect in hip hop game. I would like people to know that there was a group in North Carolina called FAMU, father and son, and they was dope.
Sure. Dope shit. What advice do you have for like any fathers and sons that might want to make music together, or even if they're not father and son, just two people in a group, period, to sustain themselves and to be, you know what I'm saying?
Throw the ego out the window. Throw that whole everything that you thought that you need to make dope and put in your back pocket and learn together, learn each other as a group, because the father and son thing is always gonna be there outside the music. That's never gonna change. But when you in the music, you keep it hip hop, keep it respectful, learn from each other, find what each other know, try to iron out all the issues and make things better, and don't be too prideful to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what that means or whatever, because he gonna be privy to some things that I don't quite understand with the gap in age, whatnot. And that's why we did this, because we want to bridge the gap and say, hey, the best of both worlds could be the difference between age,
That shit is so super solid, bro. I don't even know if y'all really know. I'm sure y'all know, but I don't know if you really know how super solid that is, like how much hope that can spread.
Yeah, I want, people need to find some kind of common medium between their children and whatnot. I think we do the same things over and over and think that's enough. Like, you got to go to your daughter's dance recital, your son playing football or whatnot, and that's it. But there's a lot of things that you can do to expose your child to things. Sometimes you need to take your children down into the homeless shelter and show them that everybody don't live the same. Let me show you how fortunate you got it, and I want you to be able to help this person by volunteering your time. And so, that's the kind of things that make bonds.
What advice you got for some people that's your age to to be able to remain focused and not look at it like, oh, they old, you know what I'm saying? You seem like you know what I'm saying? You still represent, but you it's a different respect. Yeah. It's a lot that I don't see you giving the same type of respect that you give.
I say be open-minded. Like, yeah, we can learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say is like, just be open-minded, we can learn from each other.
Right.
Like, it's something that you might know that they don't know, something that you know that, you know what I mean?
Definitely,
man. No, because I promise you, nobody on earth 100% know everything or know what they doing. We all just making it up as we go along, and we figuring out every step of the way. So it's like, man, just be willing to learn from each other.
That's real. Y'all on point today, man. Put bumps on all the day, cause it's like it's just crucial, man. It's crucial.
And ageism is over in hip hop. It's over. It's done.
Ain't nobody else keeping up with age.
Exactly.
So-called genre.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. The last album that I got from you, y'all didn't stream it.
Which one was that?
I don't know. I got it from Bandcamp.
That wasn't the current album, right?
I think I got a.
You know the name of it?
I think it's
I got a.
Fam Universal.
FAMU Forever.
FAMU Forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You made you decide to not go straight to the streaming and sell it straight to consumer.
That's the crazy thing. I think FAMU Forever is on streaming sites, but I don't know why they took it down. Yeah, we put that on there. I think there's only truly one album that we did do that didn't get to where, because we tried to go to this different place and it was on there for a minute, but it was jacked up, and you learn through experience some things you need to stick with, and some things you need not try to jump ship just because.
Right.
But usually it was up there. But we gonna get away from eventually the streaming thing. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know.
I agree.
I'd rather ship out my own stuff.
Something.
And that'd be more easier. And it sounds harder than what it is, but you can ship out your own stuff.
Right.
You know.
We gotta figure that out, man.
Right.
0.003 cent a stream, and we work too hard for that, man.
Yes. Yes.
Who would you say is some of y'all main influences as far as music?
Well, to me, it's easy to go to mainstream artists and say they were, but I always been a fan of the underdog, and I always like people, the common people, because it's easy to kind of always look at stars and get your influence. Because I mean, of course, I grew up, I love Biggie. And I love Pop, and I love all the artists that came before me. I'm a big fan of all of them. Very big fan of Outkast. But I like people that I've come to know over the years that was just singing like me, in the sense of they might not be the most popular people in the world, but they dope. I like the Ill Pose. I love Superstition, Lazarus, my man Seven the Panther, Apostle AP, even, some groups that I've come to know like Mickey Fax and people like that. And then I get a big flag when people are like, well, I don't know who those people are. Then you need to get to know them.
Facts.
You need to get to know the Beehives and the Barcodes and Joe Hannes and people like that. Matter of fact, it's crazy. I'm gonna do this. I gotta shout out one dude I thought had the dopest showmanship I've seen. It was this kid named Royalty. Now, I don't know where he is, but dude was from Charlotte, and man, when I say he put on one of the dopest shows that I ever seen, and I've been through a lot of stuff. I mean, like I said, I love Remo from Winston-Salem, Remo legend. And definitely a big fan of Fonte and them, you know what I'm saying? But this one kid, I don't know where he is, but his name was Royalty from Charlotte. And man, one of the best, dopest showmanship I ever seen.
Where you see him at?
We was at the Dirty South Beat Battle from one of the Eddie Ruger shows. He used to have beat battles in Greensboro, and he have a couple artists that would perform. And this guy performed at the beat battle.
I see his name all the time. Who is Eddie Ruger?
Eddie Ruger is a promoter, rapper. Me, you know, I would do one of my impersonations of Eddie Ruger, man. You know Eddie Ruger, man. You know, Iconoclast. You know, the Boondocks and everything,
Breaking
man.
Bad.
But shout out to Eddie Ruger, man, because he's very intricate part of what FAMU growth is. Because we've been blessed to do those shows, and I don't mind doing it. He can call me tomorrow and say, hey, man, I got a show such and such. We own it. Because there's a time people wouldn't give us that opportunity.
You know, I shout out to him. Shout out to everybody who doing some music. You know what I'm saying? Whoever trying to put on for the city, man, shout out to you, man.
I mean, and it's the whole experience with that is why we wrote the song called Hollywood, because to us, there's a lot of people that come from the same common grounds that we come from, but when they get a little light behind them, they get indifferent. And it's not that I'm salty about it or whatnot, but and I'm not trying to get any kind of accolades or big. I've seen and helped a lot of people with their first shows because I promoted and put on a lot of shows, and I really stuck behind some of that because Seven was the face of that. He was the face. I was in the behind trying to, organize things. He would go get most of the talent and whatever. So a lot of people don't know that we both was doing these shows, and a lot of time, man, we don't get invited to certain things. Well, this is fine with us because we know how to keep the race going.
It's cool.
We'll keep running. It doesn't matter.
Oh, shit, boy, y'all super dope. They ain't invite y'all, they slipping. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. You know what I'm saying? Good vibes, man. You gotta have good vibes. You can't just have whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go there because I don't want nobody to think I'm trying to take a shot at them.
But it's not even that. People, when you tell the truth, people get truth mixed with hate. And that's not hating. It's just the truth. But the thing about it is, I don't want to call nobody's name out because I don't want to give their hate life. Anytime you call somebody's name, whatever they doing is giving them life to come back at you, knowing what they did. Let them live with what they did and let them see you shine. That's what the part I was just saying. Let them see your growth and make them think, damn, maybe I should have did something different.
Indeed.
Right.
FAMU, it's been my honor to have y'all in the building, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know I taught y'all to death.
Great interview, man. Great interview. Until the next one, this part one. Until the next one, peace.
Hey, shout out to everybody. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
You ready for this show?
It's gonna come out good time too. Probably next week, right around, get them right before the show time.
That's what's up.
Yep.